Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. I apologise for that little song. We'll play it later, but thank you everyone for tuning in to the morning forecast show. We've slept on it. We've confirmed it. We covered it live. We were the first channel to cover this live last night. No one else covered it as fast as us. We were live within minutes of the news coming out. What was that news? Well, Ripple came out victorious. We knew it was going to happen. The SEC dropped their appeal. The case is officially closed. No one can argue with that anymore. The case is finished. Nearly 5 years of what we went through is now over and finished. But now it's time to look forward to what this actually means. They've won the battle, came out victorious. We supported them on the way there. We actually took part in petitions. We created petitions. We navigated the market together for years and years on this channel. And we were the first people to cover it live. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet and you're an XRP fan, you're definitely missing out, because any event that happens, and there's going to be many more to come, BlackRock announcing ETFs, spot ETFs being approved, institutions buying ETFs, banks partnering with this, Swift partnering with XRP. So many more events will happen down the line, and we will cover it first. So make sure you have subscribed and make sure you have hit your notification bell. If you have just tuned in, whether you're watching live or later, please do hit the like button. And let's not forget what this show is all about. We're live every single morning for the morning forecast to see if it's going to be a rainy day ahead, if it's going to be a thundery day, if it's going to be a sideways moving day where it's nothing significant, but there's things going on underneath. Or is it going to be the day we love the most, where we are just printing money and making money? Well, we will find out in this show. What I've got on the screen right now is XLM, because Stellar has really enjoyed the news as well. Remember, I always say Stellar follows what XRP does, normally to a more volatile extent, and today XLM is catching up with a 5.84% move towards the upside. But XRP is the star of the show. Yesterday it was up over 10% and it hit our target of around $3.39, just 1 cent below that target, but that was what we were targeting last night. But forget about the price action. Let's talk about what this really actually means. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the newsletter that was put out today. So if I go here, let me just make sure I've got the newsletter in front of me. Here we go. So I'm going to tell you what is actually important, why this is actually important, because great, we got the victory, something we've been anticipating for a while, but what does it actually mean? Well, it's an newsletter today. Remember, you can get the newsletter. This is what it looks like every day, whether you get it on the app, whether you get it on the webpage, whether you choose to get it in your emails. You get the one big thing, and of course, today, the one big thing is XRP is no longer a question mark. With the SEC case officially closed, XRP becomes the first major cryptocurrency to emerge from years of legal scrutiny with a definitive regulatory status, clearing the runway for ETF approvals and institutional adoption at scale. Regulatory clarity doesn't just move the markets, it can reshape them. Watching how companies like Trident Digital and Vivo Power are structuring XRP into treasuries and operational strategies might help offer insights into how corporate finance and crypto increasingly overlap. And that's what we're going to be looking at, because this is the green light for institutions, this is the green light for BlackRock, this is the green light for companies to start buying XRP, this is the green light for major inflows coming into XRP. This is probably the green light for XRP to overtake Ethereum by the end of the cycle. That's something I think is very possible this cycle. We've got a few top stories. This is what happens in the newsletter every day. You get the 5 things to know. We've got a good idea of who the next Fed commissioner is and what that actually means. We've got quite a few stories here which we might cover later. But remember, if you get the newsletter, you get the most important stories every single day, the 5 top stories. You get the money move, you get the market snapshot, all those sorts of things. You get the deep dive, you get all my thoughts on that. You get the chart of the day, and you also get the economic calendar. So it's definitely worth signing up to the newsletter. Remember, yesterday, and before the news came out, in the newsletter, we had the exact news. No one knew there was a vote going on, but with our sources, we knew that there was a vote going on yesterday, and we gave you the insight of, obviously, who we thought would come out victorious and what that vote would entail. And that was all in the newsletter yesterday. So if you got the newsletter yesterday, you had a very good heads up. So it's definitely worth having that newsletter. The link is the first in the description. If you're watching live, I'll give you the link to newsletter in the live chat as well. But the deep dive for today, here's the link is in the chat there. Remember, with that link, you get a 1 week free trial. There's also a monthly plan. There's a free plan as well. But the annual plan is when it works out the cheapest. So, case dismissed. The SEC, this is Brad Garlinghouse. The SEC lawsuit has been crushed. Project Crypto, Paul Atkins is obviously on the side of crypto now, and you've got BlackRock, Tident Digital, Vivo Power, all on the XRP train, and you can see what the old SEC is up to. It's crumbling. So, the long-running Ripple versus SEC battle, and it still hasn't quite sunk in for me, in all honesty. Probably not sunk in for a lot of you guys. It's just been, what a journey we've been on anyway. The long-running Ripple versus SEC legal battle officially ended yesterday, with both parties filed a joint dismissal of their appeals with the Second Circuit Court, ending nearly 5 years of regulatory uncertainty that has clouded XRP's prospects since December of 2020. This landmark resolution provides the final barrier to institutional adoption and sets the stage for a new phase of XRP evolution, from embattled cryptocurrency to regulated digital assets. And look, this is what I'm saying. I'm not focusing on the price right now. I don't care what the price does. It's probably actually going to come back down, in my opinion. Maybe it'll break out above $3.40. Maybe it'll touch all-time highs. But quite possibly it comes all the way back down to maybe $2.30. I'm not worried about the short-term price action. What you need to start focusing on now is what this actually means. Don't worry about the price action for today, tomorrow, the next day. We need to start looking a few months ahead, because the ETFs are quite right around the corner. And what this, the precedent that this has left, is what's important. This is a new phase for XRP. This is when they can actually get to work. This is when people start trusting them. This is when institutions can get involved. All that sort of thing, all those sorts of things is what is important, not the day-to-day price action right now. The final gavel. In a joint stipulation filed on August the 7th, the SEC and Ripple Labs agreed to dismiss all appeals, with each party bearing their own legal costs. Ripple Chief Legal Officer Stewart confirmed the development, stating, following the commissioner's votes today, the SEC and Ripple formally filed directly with the Second Circuit to dismiss their appeals. The end, and now back to business. Remember, we covered this tweet live because we were first to go live with this news, and we were first to cover that tweet 10 seconds after that tweet came out. We knew about it, and obviously that continued to pump the markets. And the most important part for this, when that tweet came out yesterday, was that we got direct confirmation from Ripple, and this sentence here, the end, and now back to business. That's all they're focused on. They just want to put it behind them so they can get on with the business, and that's really bullish to see. They're not celebrating, they're not gloating, they just want to get back to business and what they've tried to do for the last 5 years. Anyway, the resolution leaves Judge Annalise Torres's July 2023 ruling intact, which determined that XRP sales to retail investors or secondary markets did not constitute security transactions. While institutional sales violated security laws, Ripple will pay the full $125 million penalty as originally ordered, rather than the reduced $50 million settlement both parties had sought. It's a drop in the pond. I'm sure they don't care too much about the 75 million. Of course, they would have preferred to pay 50 million, but just to end the case, and because the court didn't like the fact that they were doing that, they're happy to pay the 125. I'm glad they are, because it just means we can put this behind us. The SEC Commissioner dynamics. While the joint dismissal required an SEC Commission vote, the specific voting breakdown was not disclosed. However, SEC Commissioner Caroline Creshaw, the person who still hates crypto, has consistently opposed crypto-friendly measures throughout 2025, being the sole dissenting vote in 13 internal crypto ETF decisions. Opposition to crypto incentives has been so pronounced that the crypto industry successfully blocked her reappointment to another term, with the Senate Banking Committee cancelling her confirmation vote following intensive lobbying. I am very certain that she would have voted against this, but the other 3 SEC commissioners, I'm sure, would have voted for it. And therefore we got it dropped. And the good news is she won't be here for long. Not in terms of death, but in terms of in the SEC. Anyway, regulatory precedent and legal implications. The case resolution establishes crucial legal precedent for the broader cryptocurrency industry. The Torres ruling distinction between programmatic sales, non-securities, and institutional sales, securities, provides framework that other digital assets can reference. This creates what legal experts call a hybrid classification model, where the same asset can have different regulatory treatments depending on how it's sold. So obviously that is the same as the beginning of the ruling. Nothing's changed. XRP within itself is not a security. The way that they were previously selling these institutional security XRP was deemed a security, but since we obviously know that Ripple have changed the way they sold to institutions, they're continuing to sell to institutions. It's not violating security laws anymore because they've changed the way they do it, and the SEC is not going to go after them. So nothing really has changed. But the best news is the fact that XRP is not a security. No other cryptocurrency has that ruling. Or regulatory clarity. So, under the new SEC leadership of Paul Atkins, who launched Project Crypto to modernize digital assets regulations, the agency has taken a markedly different approach. Atkins has stated that most crypto assets are not securities. That's very different to what Gary Gensler used to say, and is working to create clearer classification guidelines. This represents a dramatic shift from the previous administration's enforcement-heavy approach. The legal clarity extends beyond XRP specifically. The ruling helps establish that utility tokens with real-world payment use cases can avoid securities classification when sold to retail markets, providing the blueprint from other cryptocurrency projects. So we've really set the precedent here. We've set sort of case law, if you want to call it that, that other cryptos can go off. So this was not just a battle for XRP. What Brad Garlinghouse fought here against the SEC was a battle for the whole crypto industry. And other projects should be very, very grateful for the amount of money, time, and patience Ripple put into this and how they came out on top. Otherwise, other cryptos would certainly be in trouble. What I'm going to come on to now is the corporate treasury adoption. This is when it gets exciting. This is when we start seeing a Michael Saylor approach to XRP, companies doing what Michael Saylor does to Bitcoin. And then also we're going to start talking about the ETFs, 2 big things that can really start increasing XRP's underlying price. So we're going to come on to that in a second. Let me just see what's going on here. So it's not over. Okay, thank you, mods, for checking that. It definitely is over. I don't know why someone's trying to give us fake news in the chat saying it's not over. It definitely is over. It's still not. It's over RPM. I don't understand what you mean. Okay, so let me just quickly go to your comments. Please do hit the like button. We're going to come on to the BlackRock information. We're going to come on to the ETF information. We're going to come on to the corporate treasury information. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on where I think XRP is going. So if you do want to hear all of that, please do hit the like button. I think I'm going to put the music on and see how many likes we get. We've got 464 people watching. We should have 230 likes. How many do we have? 81. We're very low on likes. We're going to go into all the information. So I'm going to put the music on. We're going to celebrate again what happened yesterday with the ruling. And while that's happening, everyone needs to hit the like button. And when you're hitting the like button, once you've done that, come into the comment section over here and hit the like button over here as well. So there's a like button here as well. Everyone go and do that. As soon as we hit 170 likes, I will tell you what I think about BlackRock and when they're going to be filing, the ETF filings, when that's going to happen, my price prediction, the corporate treasuries, who's going to be buying XRP, and the amount of inflows that are going to be coming in. So a lot of information, and all you need to do is hit the like button. And here we go.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
in 30 seconds. All you need to do is hit the like button and then we'll go through all the information. Also going to give you a $1,000 XRP giveaway link in just a second as well. Let's get to 200 likes. 19 people haven't hit the like button yet. Let's do it so we can get into the BlackRock information, the ETF information, the corporate treasury information, all that information coming up in 19 likes time. Who hasn't hit the like button yet? Only 11 more likes. Let's do it.
Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform it up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn. A thirst and desire, you transform it up in a flash. You spread your wings and rise from the ashes.
Thank you very much. We've hit the target. So let's do it. Let's do it. I hit it twice to make sure. Oh, if you hit it twice, you're probably unlucky. You have to hit it 3 times. Okay, so let me get back into the information. So here we go. This is the first big thing. Corporate treasury adoption, the new frontier. The case revolution has catalyzed a wave of corporate treasury adoption that mirrors Bitcoin's institutional embrace, but with a crucial difference. XRP offers operational utility but beyond store value properties. So what we're talking about here is what Michael Saylor's doing with his company, and a lot of companies are now adopting what Michael Saylor does, which is buying Bitcoin, putting it on their balance sheet and just holding and holding and holding, whether they borrow against it to buy more or they raise money to buy it. Whatever the strategy is, their strategy is very much to buy... Let me bring this up a little bit. To buy Bitcoin, so they hold it long term, whether they offer yields or borrow against it. The basic strategy is just hold Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, put it on the balance sheet. However, this is now happening with XRP. This is not something that we're imagining is going to happen. This is happening, and in my opinion, it's going to double and triple and quadruple and 10x and 20x the amount of companies that do this. Why? Well, because it's not just buy and hold because XRP's price is going to go up. It's buy and hold and use because it has a use case. It's not like Bitcoin, which doesn't really have a use case apart from a store of value. XRP, you can use it. And these companies will love this. So XRP's operational utility goes beyond store value properties. The price is going to go up and it makes their businesses more efficient. So companies are doing this right now and it's going to increase. Current corporate holdings, several publicly traded companies have already committed significant capital to XRP treasuries. Trident Digital is building potentially the largest XRP corporate reserve with plans to deploy 500 million. I think their stock is up 10% or something right now. Trident Digital. Let me just see if I can find their ticker symbol actually. Digital Trident, I think it's this one. Is it this one? No, it's not this one. Let me just find the ticker symbol. Let me go to the comments and I'll just find the ticker symbol because I think it's up to date. Trident Digital is the biggest XRP treasury holding right now, I believe. So let me just bring up their stock price. Here it is. What's the ticker? It's TDTH. So let me bring this back on the screen, and they're actually up today quite significantly, and don't really need to wonder why they're up today. They're up 16% pre-market. They are up 16% pre-market. You can see holding companies like this. Look, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell anything, but people holding companies that are holding XRP, they actually have bigger swings when XRP moves. So you've got something like this, Trident Digital Tech Holdings, ticker symbol TDTH, which is up 16% this morning because of the news. Because they're probably going to be buying more, because the investors are happy that they've bought XRP. We've got Vivo Power as well, which is one we've covered on the show before. I apologize for this being slow. I'm not sure why. Sometimes this happens with Trading View. Let me just refresh that. Let's come back into here and go into Vivo Power. There we go. That's up 5% yesterday and up another 7% this morning. So you can see that these companies are doing very well. The next one, obviously I've just showed you, is Vivo Power International, acquired 100 million XRP and is actively staking tokens for yield generation, and that's actually partnered with Flare Token. We've got Wellgistics Health, committed to 50 million specifically for real-time vendor payments across its pharmaceutical supply chain. They're buying it, they're holding it, they're using it throughout their supply chain. That's what's brilliant about XRP. It's not just buy and hold because it's going to go up in value. It's buy and hold and use because they're using it. And a company like Vivo Power and Wellgistics Health, they're going to be using it in their supply chains. We've got Nature Miracle Holdings announced 20 million XRP treasury program for its vertical farming operations. This is actually helping their companies be more efficient. Floral Growth Corporation has also disclosed XRP holdings, and this list of companies is going to grow and grow and grow. So the operational use cases, unlike Bitcoin's pure store of value proposition, companies are adopting XRP for multiple operational benefits. Cross-border payments, obviously we know the 3 to 5 settlement times and minimal fees. Supply chain finance enabling instant vendor payments and improved cash flow. Amazing for these supply chains. Very efficient way of transferring payments and having instant settlements throughout all the vendors and keeping that supply chain very efficient. Yield generations through DeFi, like through Flare network staking. Remember, that's why I like Flare Token. Let me know in the chat. Are you guys into Flare Token? Are you buying Flare Token? Just give me a yes or a no. Flare Token, FLR ticker symbol. Are you buying Flare? Because Flare network is working with XRP to bring staking and DeFi to XRP. Global liquidity for companies with international operations. So let me just make this clear again. This is the MicroStrategy playbook, but for XRP. It's on MicroStrategy's playbook on steroids because it's not just a store of value. Companies can use it. It makes them more efficient. It saves them money. It increases their profits while the price of XRP is also going up long term. The trend is accelerating as companies recognize XRP's dual value, treasury diversification plus operational utility for payment infrastructure. Savage Faith says, yes, she holds Flare. Let me know in the chat, do you guys also hold Flare? How to get 1,000 XRP. No, Emily, we're doing a $1,000 XRP giveaway. Stick around for a few more minutes and I'll give you the link for that. $1,000 in XRP. You can change it to cash. You can hold the XRP. We're doing it live on the show. It's a real giveaway. Stick around and I'll give you the link for that. ETF pathway and institutional infrastructure. With regulatory clarity established, the path to spot XRP ETF approval appears virtually certain. Bloomberg analysts assign a 95% approval odds for XRP ETFs by the year end, with decisions expected in October. This is what we've been saying for a while. This is what I've been putting in the newsletter for a while, and we're getting more and more people agreeing with me now. Martyn says 100% likelihood. I basically say 100% likelihood. I never like to say 100%, but I'm very, 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 very certain that we're going to get an XRP ETF, and I'm even so certain that I can give you a time frame. October, the middle of October, towards the middle to the end of October. I'll give you the dates. Literally, I've got the dates in front of me in this newsletter. I'll give it to you in a second. I am so confident we're going to get this XRP ETF, and I knew the SEC case was going to drop as well. So now that that's dropped, I was expecting that anyway. I'm so confident we're going to get this XRP spot ETF in the US in the next couple months. So the only big player who hasn't filed an ETF application is BlackRock, and I'm sure they're going to want to get involved, and I'm sure they're waiting for this SEC case to drop. So BlackRock's expected entry. ETF expert Nate Gazuri expects BlackRock to file for an XRP ETF following the case's resolution, noting, "I think BlackRock was waiting to see this before filing for an iShares XRP ETF. BlackRock's involvement would likely accelerate approval timelines and attract significant institutional capital, potentially triggering a wave of similar filings from other major asset managers." So I do think BlackRock is going to be entering this market. Let me see if I've got a note. So I do think BlackRock was waiting for this information to enter the market. I don't think they'll want to miss out on this. Their crypto ETFs are the ones that make them the most money. Their Bitcoin ETF is like number 10 on their list of assets under management, but it's their most profitable. So you can see that BlackRock definitely does not want to miss out on this. So I think they're going to be putting in an application fairly soon. But so far, BlackRock is missing out because we've got Grayscale, 21 shares, Bitwise, Canary Capital, Wisdom Tree, CoinShares, Franklin Templeton, all have already filed. And when are they going to get approved? Well, ignore all the little deadlines within the time frame, because the SEC can say approve, deny, or extend the deadline or delay the ETF. They always opt to delay. What you need to look at is for the deadline where they can't delay, which is a 245-day deadline since it was recognized, or since the application was put in, and that deadline falls on October the 18th for Grayscale, October the 19th for 21 shares, October the 20th for Bitwise, October the 24th for Canary Capital, October the 25th for Wisdom Tree, October the 25th for CoinShares, October the 25th for Franklin Templeton. They are all clustered together. That's actually quite good because the SEC would want to approve them all sort of at the same time, so no one gets an unfair advantage. And we've got quite a few providers here with the 245-day deadline within a week of each other, from October the 18th to October the 25th. And that week, I would say that the ETFs would get approved. They've only got two options: approve or deny. They cannot extend. It would be so surprising if they deny. I am very confident they will approve. So by the time we reach the 25th of October, I would assume we've got at least 8, 10, 12 applications approved. XRP ETFs will probably be starting to come out end of October on the market, beginning of November. And that will bring a lot of inflows into XRP. And the good thing about this is it's not just actually XRP ETFs. I think there's a Litecoin ETF, Solana ETF. This will bring so much money into the crypto industry that we can finally get this altcoin season that we've all been waiting for 4 years. And that altcoin season will be crazy, in my opinion, if we've got Bitcoin at all-time highs, potentially at 200,000 by this point, or 150,000, and we get all these altcoin ETFs. The buzz in the market is everyone's going to be FOMOing into crypto. It's going to be an altcoin season for 2 weeks to 2 months, and everyone is going to be making money, but you need to have your plan in place today. Remember, nothing I say is financial advice, so please don't buy or sell based on anything I say. We can go into a bear market, we can go into a recession, there can be a black swan event. All these things are risks you should really take into consideration as well. So current ETF applications, over 10 XRP applications are currently pending with the SEC from major providers, including Franklin Templeton, 21 shares, and Bitwise. The first approved product, ProShares Ultra XRP ETF, a 2x leverage futures-based ETF fund, already launched in July of 2025, demonstrating regulatory acceptance. So yes, we do have futures ETFs, we do have leverage ETFs, but we do not have spot ETFs. International precedent. Japan's SBI Holdings has filed to launch the country's first Bitcoin XRP ETF, signaling global institutional confidence in XRP's regulated status. This international momentum adds pressure for US approval. Look, this is a Ripple banking license story as well within it, so let me read you this as well. If you are enjoying the live stream so far and you are bullish on XRP, leave me your thoughts in the live chat. Also, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and stick around because I'll be giving you a link to win $1,000 worth of XRP live on the show. So Ripple's parallel pursuit of the national banking charter adds another dimension to institutional adoption potential. The company filed for limited purpose national trust banking license with the Office of Comptroller of the Currency, seeking to operate as a regulated financial institution, manage RLUSD stablecoin reserves under federal oversight, and access Federal Reserve payment systems directly. While 42 major banks, including JP Morgan and the Bank of America, have opposed the application, which is crazy, they're worried. They're behind the curve. They don't have their stable coins yet. They don't know how to. They're only starting to think about it in the last 6 months to a year, and Ripple is ahead of the game, so of course they're opposing the application. So we've got 42 major banks, including JP Morgan and Bank of America, have opposed the application, citing competitive concerns. The license would position Ripple as a bridge between traditional banking and blockchain-based payments. They do not want Ripple in the banking. They do not want Ripple in the banking sector because they know they would do pretty well. So payment infrastructure, and I don't think that they will. I think Ripple would get its license. I don't think that we'll see, but I don't think they can stop it. Anyway, payment infrastructure and evolution. With legal uncertainty removed, financial institutions are more likely to integrate XRP into cross-border payment systems. Ripple's on-demand liquidity platform has already secured 300 plus institutional partners, and this number could accelerate significantly. So, final key catalyst that investors should monitor. XRP approval timeline. October decisions on pending spot XRP ETF applications. That's when I think the ETFs will get approved. And more people, which is good to see, are starting to realise that as well. And that's what I want to start see happening, because that will start fueling the buy the rumour news. And more people that start grasping onto something we've been talking about for the last 6 months, the more people that start buying into that and start putting that content out there, which is actually real content, but more people that start speculating on it and buying the rumour, that's when the plan starts taking place, because we've always said in September there will be starting a buy the rumour for this ETF. In October, when the ETF gets approved, it'll probably dump on the day and the day after, which doesn't really matter, but once the ETFs actually come out and you see all the inflows coming in, then we go to all-time highs. So, banking license decision. OCC ruling on Ripple's National Trust Bank application. We'll keep an eye out and see what actually happens with that banking license decision. Corporate Treasury announcement. Keep an eye out for additional companies following the Trident Vivo Power model, and I think there'll be a lot more now that the SEC case is over. Because remember, all these big companies, whether it's publicly traded companies or institutions, they care about what the regulations are. They can't mess around with the rules, and especially the bigger they are, the more compliant they have to be. And once they've got legal certainty, like we've just got yesterday, they can start deploying their money and they can start buying XRP or working with Ripple and stuff like that. So international expansion, more global ETF approvals and banking partnerships. The Ripple SEC case resolution represents more than legal closure. It marks XRP's transformation from regulatory uncertainty to institutional-grade digital assets. With corporate treasuries embracing operational utility, ETF approvals imminent, and banking infrastructure developing, XRP appears positioned to capture significant market share in the institutional adoption wave sweeping through the cryptocurrency markets. And today's chart of the day, remember this is all from our newsletter. I'll give you the link to that, and I'll give you a 1-week free trial as well. Just stick around, because all the information that you need every single day, you get it in your inbox or on the app, whichever you prefer, or on the web browser. Anyway, the chart of the day today was just a reminder of what my thoughts are. Following the conclusion of the SEC Ripple case, and covered in the deep dive section, XRP's price reacted very positively, spiking around 11% yesterday and reaching its target and resistance level of $3.40. Momentum currently looks strong, but if we fail to break back above $3.40, the price could certainly retrace lower, potentially towards $3, which is fine. It can it or can it not? Yes, of course it can, and I'll explain to you why it can. And secondly, it doesn't matter, because we're looking at the bigger picture, not on irrational price decisions to the upside and downside. So many people are asking, and I can see in the chat right now, many people are asking, why we're not mooning, or conversely, why I showed some caution when the news is so good. For perspective, take a look at the chart below from Thursday, July the 13th, 2023, the day that we arguably got the best news for XRP. Judge Torres ruled that XRP itself is not a security. It was a major legal victory for XRP holders and Ripple, bigger news than what we received yesterday. The price surged nearly 100% in a matter of hours. The market cap was much smaller back then, but after that massive pump, price action went sideways and eventually crashed pre-ruling levels. This shows that even the best news doesn't always lead to sustained bullish momentum. You can look at this chart here. Back in 2023, when we got the best news ever, XRP's price shot up. It went down, it tried to break out again, it failed, and over the next month it actually went to prices lower than before we got a ruling that was much more significant than yesterday. So my advice is to exercise caution and control emotion. I still maintain a long-term targets of $10 this cycle, but in the short term anything can happen. That's why I'm not worried about what the day-to-day price action of XRP is, because how significant the news was yesterday doesn't just show within a day or two. It will start being priced in once the companies start using XRP, once the price settles, and it starts getting priced into XRP itself. So if it does come down to $3, I'll just probably buy some. If it comes all the way down to the lower targets we had for September, so for August, I would buy at $2.62. But my thoughts haven't really changed until I see a breakout above $3.40 in a backtest. My thoughts are still we will range between $2.62 and $3.40 for the month of September. For the month of August. Going into September, with the rate cuts, we could potentially break out on the news of institutions adopting XRP, and mainly the news of the XRP ETFs coming in October, and we'll start buying the rumor in September. And when we go into October, we can potentially be at $4.70. The news of the ETF comes out. We have a little crash because everyone sells the news. And then once the inflows start coming in and other crypto ETFs start getting approved, we can get that altcoin season and start heading to our targets of closer to $10. But now is the time for you guys to make a plan and an exit strategy. What you're going to do if it does go that high. Remember, nothing is guaranteed. We can go into a bear market tomorrow if we get a black swan event, or if CPI data comes out really bad next week. People start getting very concerned and potentially start selling off the stock market, which won't be a good look for crypto either, because it's a risk on assets. So anything can happen. Be prepared for all scenarios, but also be prepared for the bullish scenario and have an exit strategy, because if you're going to do it based on emotion, you're probably going to lose. So let me go into your questions now. We'll be ending the show in 10 minutes time. So if you have any questions, let me know now. I'm going to give you the link to that newsletter, which had all the information. You get it every single day in your inbox. If you're an investor in XRP, if you're an investor in the cryptocurrency market, if you're an investor in the stock market, you need to get your news. You need to keep up to date with what's going on. You need to increase your knowledge. And the best way to do it, in my opinion, is by reading the newsletter. And there is the link. You get a 7-day free trial. It's the first link in the description. It's the link that's pinned right now in the live chat. You can click on it. It takes you to this page over here. You can choose whether you do an annual plan, founding member, you have a free plan or a monthly plan. The annual plan gives you direct access to me. You can ask me questions whenever you like. You get full access to previous newsletters, because you can go through every single deep dive, which is premium only, and you can see all the important major news stories that will really increase your knowledge. All that sort of stuff is 33% cheaper than the monthly plan. It's £10 a month. It works out to it's about 30 cents a day. It's definitely worth more than that. I mean, people who took advantage of the news that we had yesterday before anyone even knew there was a vote going on, obviously came out on top. You've got the founding member if you want the white glove service and you want to support the channel. You've got the monthly plan, which obviously I won't recommend because it's 33% more expensive, or you can get the free plan. There's a plan for everyone. You might as well try the 7-day free trial with this link and support the channel and increase your knowledge. So many good reviews of the newsletter. I should start putting them up somewhere. I've got everyone who signs up leaves me a review. I should put that somewhere. Anyway, so let me answer your questions, and then I'll give you the link for the $1,000 XRP giveaway. I'll do that right after if anyone has any questions. So I'll read the chat now. Not selling, just hold, as financial institutions are going to be buying XRP up until it will no longer be available on exchanges. The key, I don't know what you've been reading, but XRP will be available on exchanges. There's no way that they can buy up every single XRP. So be very careful. I mean, Bitcoin has got a market cap 10 times of what XRP is, and it's still got plenty of money on the exchanges. So be very careful. My XRP strategy is when XRP moves, I'm going to be borrowing against it and open more cash flow businesses, repay the loan and keep my XRP. Good luck to you, Kurtz creators. What I'm going to say to you is be very careful, because XRP is very volatile. It will still probably go down 80-70% in a bear market. That's very likely for something that XRP can do. It will 100% go down 50% at some point. I'm 90% certain it will have an 80% crash in the bear market. So you have to be very careful when there's an asset that volatile and you want to take a loan out against it. But again, your money, your choice. BlackRock will apply last and approve first, most likely. We'll see. I think they'll probably all get approved together. If BlackRock files now, I'm sure they'll approve it at the same time as the others in October. They probably don't care when they approve, because the other people have already done the hard work. They have to get approved or denied in October because they applied 245 days ago. Or 200 days ago. So BlackRock can just file now and be like, well, you have to approve me at the same time, otherwise other people are getting an unfair advantage. So BlackRock have let the others do the hard work, and they'll come in at the last moment and get approved at the same time, probably. Who cares? That's just because they're the big dog. What is the catalyst for ETH to go to 3,000? To go to 3,000 or sold to go to $200 is pure use case, and once XRP starts getting used, it will go to hundreds of $1,000s, just like ETH and so. Kurt's creators, you have to be very careful with what you're saying. XRP has 100 billion tokens. Solana has less tokens, far fewer tokens, and Ethereum has far fewer tokens. So that's why their price is high. You can't compare the price. You have to be very careful with what you're saying, because for XRP to go to $200 or $1,000 like Ethereum, its market cap will need to be hundreds of times what Ethereum and Solana's market cap is. I still can't believe Uncle Martin has overtaken Sensei in crypto holdings. Yeah, MSK. He just did it overnight. It was so casual. It was just like, we're all on our own journeys. We can't compare each other to each other. Crazy to me how XRP hasn't reached $3.50 yet. It's not crazy to me at all. It's actually what we've predicted, $3.40. Not true. It needs to, but it can. It might do. But after today, I mean, can it go up to $3? All-time $3.50 today? Yes, but am I expecting a sell-off first? Probably. I'm expecting sideways action for the month of August, even with this news. I think obviously it's long-term, it's so bullish that we got this news. $10 for XRP, case or no case, it still needs everything to go perfect. Yeah, $10, it's not a conservative estimate really, is it? It's like things still need to go well for XRP to hit $10. We should be at all-time high. Nope, we shouldn't. Can't. Nothing should happen because you say it should happen. Holding Flare, XTN, Algo, HBAR, XLM, and a few others. Congratulations to you, Salvo. They've all been performing well. What's Mary up to? Be careful about people saying messaging and stuff like that. Be very careful. 7,000 Flare. Yes, Flare. You guys own Flare as well. Congratulations. Only 3 people responded. 4 people. $9 XRP possible? Yes, it certainly is possible. I'm going to give you the link for a $1,000 giveaway now, as we get the link for Martyn's show as well. Let me just see if we've got it live. I just want to make sure I redirect. There we go. That's all good. I think we're going to SoundHound earnings actually. So I agree with you, Stacey, on your pump and FOMO comment. Which stocks? Gold at a new high, and this morning the tariffs on gold bars I saw on CNBC. Yes, I'll be covering that story tomorrow. We didn't have enough space to cover it today. So let me just go over here and see if you're right about the breakout on gold. No, gold is actually down today. Gold is down 0.15% today. Nothing too significant. The S&P 500 is up 0.15%. Anything else significant? No, nothing there. Let me go back to your comments. It's pretty encouraging that XRP is holding this pump. Yeah, it is actually. I've got stocks this year absolutely dwarfing those returns, makes XRP's little move look like a rounding error. I've got stocks this year absolutely dwarfing those returns. Tommy Tinkler, I don't quite know what you mean by that. I love how you talked about it yesterday in your newsletter, and later on it was official. Your newsletters are awesome, and I can finally go somewhere knowing it's all facts. Thanks, man. David Hensley, I really, really do appreciate that comment. You always say great things about the newsletter. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you haven't signed up to the newsletter yet, there is the link. I think it was already factored in because people who are buying or did buy knew it would happen anyway, so I do not see a huge pump. That's my opinion. It will pump more on FOMO. So no one actually knew it was going to happen, so we could all speculate, but remember this happened before, Stacey, a month ago or a month and a half ago. The speculation was there. We were a little bit more bearish that time because of what we knew, but August the 15th wasn't a confirmed deadline. It was a deadline for them to just come out and give an update. If they didn't give they would have given an update, and then they could have done it another 2 months in front. Also, no one knew that there was a vote going on. That was not mainstream news. So it was a surprise, and it happened on the day of the vote. So it was still a surprise. I don't think it was priced in. I think people obviously are pricing it in that will happen at some point, but it wasn't priced in on that day. So I think I would disagree with you there. But at the same time, even if it wasn't priced in, there's no need for there to be a huge pump on the day, because you were sort of expecting it in the long term anyway. So it's not the biggest news in the world. What's the big news? What it enables, and that's when people will be waiting for now, is what this ending of the case will actually enable. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is give you the link I promised you the link for the giveaway. So here is the giveaway link, and we're going straight to Martyn. So the link for the giveaway to win $1,000 live on the show. It's not like other fake giveaways. This is real. This is done live on the show. No one can everyone has equal chances to win in terms of you can all have as many tickets as you like. It's free for everyone. It's free for all. All you have to do is go to that website. There's some actions for you to do, all free actions, whether it's following us on X, signing up to the free newsletter, retweeting on X. All you have to do is go on that website, sign in with your YouTube, email, or X. Once you go into that page, you've got different ways to claim tickets. The more tickets you have, the more chance you have to win, but you can win with just one ticket. So there is the page. Go and check that out as well. If you want to win $1,000 of XRP live on the show, we're doing it to give back and celebrate for the 100,000 subscriber goal, which we are now very close to. 94,000, I think we're at 94,200. You're showing yourself up, coming for someone but just because they have a different opinion really shows a level of intelligence. Tommy Tinkler, I don't know if you're talking to me or someone else. I haven't challenged anything you said. What is going on? Hope all is well as Sensei. Thank you for answering my question on Substack. Crazy and dangerous stuff, I know. Luckily, I bought a core wallet now. Happy. Oh, great, Matthias. Yeah, Matthias is a subscriber to the newsletter. We have private chats because we can. And I'm so glad that you've got your wallet now, Matthias. Okay, anyway, I don't know what's going on. I think Tommy Tinkler's sort of causing some issues in the chat. Okay, so thanks for your appreciation. Thank you for all the work you do and your wife for getting those newsletters out. Helped nudge me to buy some XRP yesterday before the news. Congratulations to you, Sarkic. Okay, so what we're going to do is go straight over to Martyn. I think he might even be live already. Is he live already? No, not yet. Okay, thank you everyone for tuning in. Go and check out all the stories in the newsletter today. We didn't even manage to cover any of the 5 top things. So go and check it out because lots of alpha in there. I'll give you the link on the way out. So go and check out today's newsletter. There is the link. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'll be back on Sunday with my Sunday show. That's at 9 o'clock UK time. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy Martyn's show. What a day it's been. What a day yesterday's been. Let's all relax, chill out, go and spend some time with our families on the weekend, or give them a call if you can't. That's what's important, not the money. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to give you the link to Martyn's show. Here is the link to Martyn's show. This is where we're going now. Martyn is going live as we speak. So everyone go down, and I would appreciate if everyone goes down and just spams his live chat. Just fill it up with Sensei sent me, Sensei sent me, Sensei sent me. I want hundreds and hundreds of people to completely overwhelm the chat like you've never done so before. This is the link. Martyn is live right now. We're going to send you right there. As soon as you go in, live chat, Sensei sent me, Sensei sent me, Sensei sent me, Sensei sent me. Not here, but click on that link. As soon as you go here, Martyn is live right now, and just spam his show with Sensei sent me. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.